Mansfield, that Mrs. Spataro mentioned that I was here Saturday morning. I am the town moderator in Mansfield, and I've known Mr. D'Agostino for a number of years. As far as this legal case goes, I'm not in a position to argue all the details of it, but I can only throw out a few things that are public knowledge and which may resolve some of your thoughts. There were two elements to the case. One dealt with the dismissal of the manager of the electric light department in Mansfield. In Mansfield, the selectmen serve as electric light commissioners as well as selectmen. And under the town charter, the town manager is the nominal head of the electric light department. In that position, he appoints a manager to run it. There was a gentleman managing the department. After a period of years, it was determined in the eyes of the town manager and his commissioners that this person should be dismissed, and the person was dismissed. Somewhere in the course of the dismissal, or just prior to it, this gentleman filed a, I guess what's called a whistleblower suit, alleging financial shenanigans between the electric light department and the town. Now, because there was a whistleblower suit in process literally moments before the dismissal, it created, as I understand, some sort of a unique situation, that now the dismissal was in retaliation for the whistleblowing, and it just evolved into a long, drawn-out thing from there. As far whatever the whistle was blown on was determined to be a non-issue, because ultimately nothing was ever brought on that part. The State Ethics Commission was brought into the issue. They found no grounds for problem. Even with the suit being brought by the gentleman for his dismissal, it was in the view of the selectmen who, and this is all done in there with their knowledge, in the view of the town's legal counsel and the State Ethics Commission, that there was nothing wrong with the dismissal. Now, how it ended up with the verdict it did is anyone's guess. As you pointed out, there's a lot about the case that is not public knowledge. There may be confidentiality agreements in place. I don't know. I'm not familiar with those. But I know that the town in general supported the town manager. Now, last summer, there was a recall election about the same town as...
Let me stop you for a second. My understanding was there were two tiers here. First, there was a harassment claim that was made. Mm-hmm. The individual, the gentleman, supported the harassment claim. Mm-hmm. That went through MCAD. MCAD dismissed it as no probable cause, at which point there was then thereafter the line of thought you had, which was there were some actions taken against this individual who was also saying that he was doing a whistleblower. Mm-hmm. That all went up the other side. The jury verdict was that there was retaliation for the individual having supported the person who filed the harassment claim in the first place. Mm-hmm. That was what the verdict held, among other things. So it pegged to the original, not towards the secondary. I believe that there was a whistleblower component that remained, but the thing that got me was a lot of it was pegged off of the two people supporting each other in the harassment claim ultimately got fired, and the jury verdict, as I understand it, was that element is what was being retaliated against, among other things.
Well, actually, as it turned out, the second person was not fired. She resigned, claiming sexual harassment, and as I understand, shortly after resigning, she ended up with a better paying job somewhere else, so there's nothing lost in that. Virtually everyone I've spoken to regarding this whole case is totally baffled as to why the verdict came out the way it did. Now, getting to the public feeling in Mansfield, there is an element in any town when there's an injured animal, the wolves tend to come out. And there was a group that last summer that dwelled on the phrase guilty of whatever it was, and there was some insistence that the selectmen fire the town manager. Well, the selectmen refused to fire him because basically they had no grounds to fire him on. He had done nothing professionally wrong. And to have fired him would have involved a contract buyout and all the other ramifications going along with it. And the guy was doing a hell of a job running the town, which he still does. A recall was called on for two of the selectmen, and the voters supported the selectmen, and in essence supported the town manager. So the general public in Mansfield supports the selectmen, supports the town manager, and to this day there is still, although there is an element that is screaming guilty, the general feeling in town is that the town manager is doing a wonderful job. You go into town hall, speak to any of the department heads, any of the employees, they don't have a problem. He has been very professional, very competent, and everything runs very smoothly, with the exception, as I said, of a contingent that will always be an objector to anything.
Do you know when his contract is up?
I believe his contract has another year or year and a half to run. So basically, he was reappointed while this whole thing to another 3-year term. In